WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, remember him? A free man after reaching a plea deal agreement with the United States government, the Justice Department under Joe Biden. The Australian journalist has spent the last 5 years in a British prison, and he's been fighting extradition to the United States of America. Assange was originally hit with espionage charges for publishing, making public highly classified U.S. military documents relating to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan beginning in 2010 and supplied him with an inside source. The inside source provided him all these classified documents. Then the Secretary of State at the time, Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, seriously suggested taking him out in response, reportedly saying in a meeting, "Can't we just drone this guy?" It was kind of funny. Everybody laughed and then looked at her and noticed she wasn't kidding and stopped laughing. Julian Assange would go on to publish thousands of damaging emails from the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign leading up to the 2016 election. But it wasn't just Democrats she made enemies with. A Yahoo News investigation also found that the CIA, remember them? They tampered in our last presidential election. At the behest of then CIA Director Mike Pompeo, pitched plans to the Trump administration in 2017 that would have Julian Assange assassinated while he was cooped up in Ecuador's London embassy, reportedly for the sake of revenge after WikiLeaks released secrets on the CIA's hacking tools, something that they frowned upon, of course. Now, this is a pretty extraordinary story for a lot of different reasons, Mercy.
Yeah, it is one of those that unites a lot of the libertarians and those that believe that the deep state and the military defense complex, industrial complex, is real. And so they, so Assange was basically releasing this information like he would being a reporter. So for Hillary Clinton, even for Pompeo to say, he should be killed, you should strike him with a drone, that's excessive. That would have been something that I think would have caused global outcry.
Yeah, and career Marine, one is leaking all this stuff about Iraq and some videos and some of this or that, and a lot of it was used in misleading ways, and it was detrimental to the United States and our national security.
So I don't want to undermine how serious it was with some of these classified things that got released. It was detrimental. I was working in the defense industry at the time, and a lot of things that we were receiving that had been released was still classified, and we could not open it and read it because just because it had been released by the press, it was still classified, and it did impact our mission. But I don't fault Assange as much as I do Chelsea Manning. Chelsea Manning, who got a pardon under President Obama, was the sole conspirator who had pulled all of that information out and should have been left to rot in jail because there's a whistleblower program that everybody has. If you see something illegal going on, you have the opportunity to release it through the whistleblower program. And Chelsea Manning was releasing this stuff, wearing her headphones, listening to Lady Gaga throughout this, and all of this information, and got a pardon from Obama. And then they released her again when she said she was going to commit suicide. It's absurd.
I think of her headphones as his headphones, but that's...
yeah, it's a his. I'm not sure.
It's a very interesting, I think, move from Biden, and maybe trying to quash the Hillary 2024 stuff by reminding us that of everything that Assange did there. But I think if this is a play by Biden for sort of libertarian-minded voters, which it certainly could be, I think it's weird to do this early. Trump obviously was speaking at the Libertarian Convention where he talked about another sort of libertarian priority, freeing the founder of the Silk Road. But as far as I can tell, this came out of nowhere. And so I think if Biden wanted to get libertarians to vote for him, I think he should have done this later in the election. I have no idea why this happened, yesterday evening.